Yeah, hello viewers. Good day. Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Obichuku Daniel Aniekwe. You can call me Dr. Order, the only doctor in the house, in every home, trying to help you as far as health issues are concerned, to guide and direct you on the right path so that you can take the right decisions. Like I've always said, this is not a medical lecture. It's just professional advice for everyone that cares to know. So today I'll be discussing about genotype and blood group, the importance and the misconception. Years ago, many years ago, in the days of our parents and grandparents, there has been this concept of Obanje, if you understand what I mean. I don't know what you call it where you come from. That's what we call it where I come from as an Igbo man. They call it Obanje. It's actually a spiritual thing. A spiritual belief is a belief that people reincarnate with certain form of spiritual powers or disease. A family that bears Obanje children, even if the child dies, he'll come back again, some sort of reincarnation. But nowadays, it's no longer a common thing, a common phenomenon to hear and talk about Obanjes. Where have they all gone to? Does spirit die? The answer is no. Actually, most of the time, what our people call Obanje is actually an act of hemoglobinopathy that is emanating from genotype, the genotype of the parents that gave birth to these children and eventually give birth to sickle cell children, or what we call in medicine, in medical practice, hemoglobinopathies. There are different variants of sickle cell disease, which sickle cell anemia is one of them. Okay? So, I have seen and heard a whole lot of misconceptions about hemoglobinopathies, or let me use the words you will know very well, sickle cell. Very important to know that if you go to Europe and developed countries, America, North America, they no longer talk about sickle cell diseases or sickle cell anemia, simply because people heed to professional advice, medical knowledge. But in our part of the world, we believe more in spiritism, spiritual talks, what my pastor said, what my reverend said on medical issues, on health matters. And your pastor is not a medical doctor, or your prophet or your seer is not a medical personnel. But here we are. Everything, we spiritualize it, we religionalize it, and that is why in a 21st century world, you still see children that are sicklers, giving birth by parents that doesn't even know their genotype, that doesn't even understand what we are talking about. It is rampant in northern part of Nigeria than in the southern part, due to factors we all know about: illiteracy, poverty, and all whatnot. I have seen a whole lot of my patients, when I diagnose their child or children having been a sickle cell child, I'll ask them, do you know your genotype? They don't know. Dad, do you know your genotype? The husband doesn't know. Did you do blood test before start giving birth? They didn't do. They don't even know what you're talking about. And I have seen educated people educated people. I keep on, asking this question. At what level will someone be educated for the person to be said to be educated? To me, if you finish primary school, you're educated. Secondary school, you're educated. But I have seen graduates, university graduates, getting married or start bearing children without knowing their genotypes and their blood group. And some of them knows the consequences of what they are doing. But they will tell me that their pastor said they went to one man of God or one woman of God, a prophet or seer. He said that she is my wife, he is my husband. God has destined us to marry. And you know that there's nothing God cannot do, It's so funny the way the things we call faith, we call stupidity faith in Africa, in Nigeria. You see a burning fire, you put your hand there. You said, but in the days of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, God delivered them from the furnace of fire. In the days of Daniel, God delivered him from lion den. I'm a Danielite because my name is Daniel. But remember that in those scriptures you are talking about, they didn't stupidly want to prove that they are children of God by going into the fire, or Daniel walking into the light. They were forced. They were pushed. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were pushed into the fire. Daniel was thrown into the lion den, and God delivered them all. But this time around, you are walking into it by yourself and say God will come and deliver you. That's not how faith works. I want you to know that these are the things our parents called Obanje in their days. But due to the act of mercy, the gift of mercy God has given to humanity, through knowledge and act of mercy, humanity has discovered where this problem is coming from. And we have been, advising people to do your blood tests, do basic tests before you get married. Even if you don't want to get married, before you start bearing children, to any man or to any woman, from any man or from any woman, know your blood group and genotype. Check some basic tests so that you will know whether you are compatible, so that you cannot bring a child in this world to come and suffer yourself. I have seen so many marriages that have started with I love you, God said, my pastor said, a seer said, and all that. At some point in their life, they are having problems. It's not what they said in the beginning they are saying now. Many of them are scattered. Many of them are living in pity, quarreling, fighting every day, blaming each other. Therefore, my listener, I want you to understand this. If your genotype can only be AA, AS, SS, that's the ones we know. But there are other variants like SC in sickle cell, in hemoglobinopathy family. Once you are not an AA in genotype, maybe you're an AS or SS, be careful who you are relating with. And once you think the relationship is about to get into marriage or push you into getting pregnant or impregnating somebody, please be sure of your partner's genotype so that you don't find yourself in a more difficult and worse situation than you are already. I don't care who is seeing vision for you or who is giving you any form of prophecy. Please listen to this medical advice. It's very, very important. It has destroyed so many marriages. It has destroyed so many lives. I know of a young man who doesn't want to see his parents. In fact, he hates his parents. He's a secular. He hates his parents so dearly because he feels that they are the one that put him in the condition that he is as of today. I have seen another young man who is a sickler, and the girlfriend is an AS. He goes into crisis, and he is still insisting on marrying that AS woman or lady. Isn't that stupidity? Isn't that foolishness? Misconception. They say that God can do all things. I must give you an example. My own brother, in my family, is either you are an AA or AS. I am AA. One of my other brother is an AS. So many years ago, when he wanted to marry, I was still a medical student. He wanted to marry a woman who turned out to be an AS. And you know, a normal African, Nigerian, Christian family, all this religious bullshit. I said, God can do it. They can have children without having an AS. I said, it cannot be possible. Not while I live. Because I already know that in a few years' time, I'm going to become a doctor by God's grace, and that the whole bulk will come to my table. I'm the one to suffer it. I will be part of the suffering. I cannot be alive and watch this stupidity to take place. And I told him to his face. I told all the members of my family, I said, please drop this thing. And by God's grace, they listened to my advice and heed to my advice, to the word of knowledge and reasoning. And he went and married a woman of AA. Today, there is no problem. That is what our people say in those days, that there is a one day in this family. They will give birth to the child. He will die. Give birth, another one will die. Unfortunately, maybe they will go and do one sacrifice to one demon or one marine spirit and other. And probably they will not give birth to another one that may be an AS. That one will live, and they will say it is the sacrifice of the native doctor or the herbalist that worked. You see, our foolishness as human beings, without knowing that what is causing it is in the gene, in the blood. Do you understand me? So there are so many misconceptions. There are children that if you open their chest region or their abdomen, you see marks. They cut them open with razor blade, with knives, because they said in my language they call it a bafo, big stomach. You know, sickle cell will make in children the abdomen to be swollen, especially the spleen. They will be cutting it, say it's bad blood, let it move out. Once it goes out, the baby will be fine. But the baby will never be fine. Some will turn out and say that it is a spiritual thing, or it's their enemies that are pursuing them, killing their children. There is no enemy killing you. The devil does not even have the power we are giving to, we are attributing to is it a he or she, no, or it. Do you understand me? Please understand this thing. Sickle cell diseases or hemoglobinopathies, they are real. And it is preventable than treating it or being cured. Please, I have seen so many things. I've heard so many things. That's why I'm making this video, to guide you, to direct you. I met a lady yesterday who doesn't know her genotype and blood group a few days ago. Her test came out that she's an AS. And I pleaded with her, I said, to please, once the opposite sex, the man you are dating and she's not yet married, you are into a relationship and the man is not an AA, please move on. He said, I told her I'm not joking. No, I beg you in the name of the Lord, please move on until you find a man that is AA. Let nobody deceive you. Let no seer or whatever deceive you, or a prophet or prophetess deceive you. She told me that she's aware, that she has seen it cause a whole lot of trouble. A whole lot of trouble. And you know, I don't want to scare those that are sicklers or that have children that are sicklers. But I have told a whole lot of them that I have met, if you don't want these mistakes, that the mistake you made to continue to repeat, beg your children not to make the same mistake you made. even the one that is a sickler, and those of them that might be AS. They will tell me that they know. I have seen it drain a family economically, financially, turn them from rich to poverty. Because what you used to train or to take care of a sickle cell child can train 4 children. I'm telling you the truth. It's a whole lot of trouble. Another one like this is blood group. Blood group. Do you know your blood group? If you don't know your blood group and you're an adult, please try to know your blood group. It's very, very important. Especially when you have negative blood group and you're a woman. I have seen in my years of practice women that are having issue with getting pregnant, that is infertility, especially secondary infertility. And they are moving from one church to the other, from one seer pastor to the other. They are telling them all manner of nonsense. They've told them it's your mother-in-law, it's your father-in-law, it's your mother, this one is a witch, they are killing your children. But by the time they met me, I came in contact with them and I took a well-detailed history and I discovered that she is blood group negative and that there has been a previous history of abortion. He did the abortion, went her way, everything was fine. Years later, it will come after you. Because she's a negative blood group, when she did the abortion, she didn't take the drug called Rogan to neutralize the antibodies that her system will generate, because possibly the man that impregnated her some years ago is a positive blood group man. So that is what we call Rhesus negative or Rhesus isomerism. And they have been busy moving up and down. Because you know what confused them? They don't have problem conceiving. They can conceive, they can get pregnant, but they cannot sustain the pregnancy. At some point, the pregnancy will abort. You see it? And that is why they will not link it to a spiritual thing. They will not link it to spiritual, that it is spiritual. It's not medical. Why do you get pregnant and you keep on having miscarriage, your enemies are after you without knowing that what is causing it is in their blood. Please, if you are having such challenge, please go to the hospital and see a medical doctor. It might be because your blood group is negative that is causing it, and probably you have had a child before, even though they did not have abortion before marriage. Maybe they had a child before and they didn't take the drug because they don't even know what they ought to have done that time. They have had a child before getting married, and the question is that they will now start accusing their husband. That is, the problem is from their husband, because after all that she has had a child before. And you know this half-baked seers and illiterate seers, we say, haven't she has a child before? You know, family members, brothers, sisters will be saying it's not from their daughter. She has had a child before, it's from the man. A whole lot of confusion. Please go to the hospital. Meet the doctors. Let them take your history. Investigate you properly. Like I've always said, I know that there are spiritual forces challenging us in this world. But please, before you conclude that this matter, especially a health issue, is a spiritual thing, make sure that you have ruled out all possible health options before you arrive to that conclusion. Don't get me wrong, please. So it's very, very important for you to know these things. And if you're having such challenge and you find out finally that you have a negative blood group, there is a solution. They will give you Rogan. It's not still late. It's not still late. They will still give you that injection. Once you're pregnant, they will give you the injection. They can even give it to you before you become pregnant. And when you are pregnant, they can give it to you maybe between 3 and 4 months, so that that pregnancy will be sustained. It will no longer abort, or you no longer have miscarriage anymore. So please, my people, take this message to everybody you know. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just subscribe. Like this video. Share it. Make your comment. Bring your questions to me, and I will answer them as much as I can. Please help to save a life. Save somebody, because there is no time. So many marriages have crumbled. So many families are passing through hell because of this. Please and please do not listen to what they are gossiping. Go to the hospital for all your health problems, and make sure before you say it is a spiritual problem, make sure that you have exhausted all medical attention, medical avenue, and you now pursue it spiritually. Once again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like it, comment on it, and share this video. Share it to every nook and cranny of this globe, especially Africa and Nigeria, so that our people will get to know and understand what they're supposed to do in every health condition they have found themselves. Thank you once again. My name still remains Dr. Obichukwu Daniel Anekwe, Dr. ODA. My YouTube name is Dr. ODA, capital ODA. So go there, subscribe, like, comment, and share very wonderfully. Thank you. See you some other time. Bye.